Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Kim and I am Barbara's daughter. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. It is a very rainy, yucky day, so I've got the lights up and the shades on the windows up, and I'm hoping that the lighting is good enough here to show you what I've been stitching on this week. And if this were a talk show, I would be saying, boy, have we got a show for you today, because I found all of my fall cross-stitch pieces. Phew! I was worried about it because my husband helped me get all of the fall stuff down off the shelf in our garage, and the cross-stitch box was not there. It was kind of hidden behind some other boxes up there, and so he went back up and looked for it and found it. So I have a lot of previous finishes to show you, some that I made, some that my mom made for me, and I actually had several finishes this week and other things to show you too. So I'm gonna actually get started with what I stitched on this week, because that's what's in front of me, and then I'll just switch things out and move my previous finishes over. So we'll do that at the end. So I had a couple questions last week. I'm just gonna pull those up here. Louise wanted to know who Christmas Garden was by, and is it still available? And yes, it is still available. Blackbird Designs designed Christmas Garden. I believe it's in a book. Is it Home for the Holidays, the name of the book that Christmas Garden is in? I'm not 100% sure on that. It was also sold as an individual pattern, but I don't know that you can get that anymore. I just know that it's in a book. So it is still available if you want to go get it. Chris is asking, when I stitch in hand, do I stitch 1x at a time if I'm using variegated floss? And the answer to that is actually kind of weird, probably, for most people. I tend to stitch one leg at a time across and then back, except a lot of times when you're stitching, there's only like 1, 2, or 3 stitches together in a row. So if it's like less than 4 stitches, I usually stitch each one individually. If it's 4 or more stitches, I usually take the time to go across one way and back the other. And I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like that. But if it's just 2 stitches, I don't do like one leg of each stitch and then go back. I just complete those stitches. I don't find that the variegation is lost if I do it that way. I still find that I have really good variegation in the pieces that I'm stitching with that variegated floss. And my stitches seem to be neater if I do one leg at a time when I'm stitching. So Eva wanted to know, because I was talking about my fall finishes, she wanted to know if I also have Christmas finishes to show you. And yes, there is a box in, and I know what this box is. There's a box in our basement with all my Christmas stitched pieces, so that'll come out probably maybe in November when we get closer to Christmas, and I will show you all of that at that time, because I know where that box is. So that's all the questions that I had. I actually had quite a few finishes this week, no FFOs, but a few finishes, so I'll show you those next. I finished Barbara Anna's Mary Pepper pouch. This was a gift for my birthday in June. My friend Dee sent it to me with the flosses, and I decided to stitch this on 36 count pumpkin by XG Designs, and I bought that from Kitten Stitcher. I love the way everything came out on this color fabric, and that is one cool looking bird. Oh, he's got a little piece of floss or something on him. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I love the colors. It's really nice for fall. The pattern shows it on a bag. It doesn't give any directions to do a bag, but I've done some bags from like the Blackbird book, so I could probably figure that out. But I don't know that I'm going to do a bag. I may just do kind of a larger pillow, or maybe a flat fold, like stand up, like Vanna kind of finish. So we'll see. I have quite a few things to FFO, so I'm thinking probably not this weekend, but sometime soon I'm going to have to sit down and FFO some stuff. The next thing I finished was the first one I'm doing in this Snow Village series by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is the Frozen Hot Chocolate Shop, and I had seen this done by Kimberly on Fat Quarter Shop, and really liked that she used the Petit Point fabric. So that's what I got too. This is 18 count Aida. And I'm using the cold for threads because that's the entire reason why I like this series, is that red is cherry tomato and the light green is jolly holly, and I just love those two colors. There's a second darker green, I don't remember what, let's see, pistachio green. Oh, it's actually it's a DMC. It's 319. And I did not include that. I just used the jolly holly for all the green in here because it just seemed like almost too much of a contrast for what I wanted in there. But as you can see, I'm doing them individually, and I think I'm going to make ornaments out of them because they're super tiny. This is like 3 inches across, and so I feel like that'd be a good ornament size. And there are, I think there are 10 small little pieces like this, and then there's a larger piece which I wouldn't do as an ornament, but I could still do. It's cute. It's got snowmen on it. So I have the next one in the series to do, which is the Ice Creamery. And those are the only 2 I've purchased so far. So after I do this one, I'll have to buy some more patterns and stitch all those. But I have the fabric to do them all. And they use mostly the same flosses. So once I get the patterns, I should be all set with that. And get that out of the way. Another finish I had was from Jennifer at Flosstube Designs. She did a series of 3 Halloween pillows. So I finished this one, Happy Halloween, Happy Jack. She also has a Scaredy Cat and Spooky Ghost, which I have plans to do these 2 in the same fabric and floss that I did Happy Jack in. But I used for this one a 36 count Picture This Plus gingerbread. I love that fabric. And I used different colors than the called for. Let me actually pull those out. So my orange is Victorian Motto Harvest Bounty. And you can see, well, I hope you can see, there is variegation in that. Victorian Motto doesn't have a lot of variegation, but even though I did 1 leg at a time, there is still variegation in the pumpkin. So I don't mind doing it that way. I don't feel like you really lose a lot of the variegation. The black I used is Black Coffee from Classic Colorworks, and those are the only 2 colors I used in here. There were 4 colors called for, like 2 blacks, black gray, and then 2 oranges, and I just used a variegated orange instead. So my mother-in-law was telling me that my niece was over at her house, and I have made over the course of several years, a whole bunch of little holiday seasonal pillows for my mother-in-law's dough bowl, and she doesn't cross stitch, but she likes to put them out. So she must have been looking through them with my niece, who said, well, Grandma, do you think Aunt Kim can make me a pumpkin pillow? So that's what this is going to be. I'm going to turn this into a pillow for my niece. She actually really loves bugs, and there's a spider there, and I think she'd like the bat too. So this is a good piece for her. So I'm going to try and finish that up this week, FFO that for her. And then I have in my Made by My Mom, of course, project bag, the other projects, the other 2 patterns in that series. And I was thinking of maybe making the ghost for my niece too, because I think she'd get a kick out of the ghost too. So those are my finishes, and I have only 1 other whip because I finished all those. I really like doing the smalls because you get them done so fast. You have like a lot of finishes. But this one is a more time-consuming one. This is Summer Schoolhouse Series, Lesson 1, and I'm stitching this 1/1 on a 25 count Mushroom Lugana. I'm really enjoying stitching 1/1. Who knew? The house I am doing in Victorian Motto Storm Sky because the called for color doesn't show up. But other than that, I am using the called for colors. So you can see I worked on the house a bit. I finished the side of the house and filled in the windows, and then I started over here and I did that little piece over there on the house. So I would really love to finish this house this coming week, and then the rest of it should go a little more quickly, but that's a lot of solid 1/1 stitching. And I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty impressed with myself for doing this. One thing I will say is whether it's the fabric's a little rough, it is tearing up my floss. I normally stitch with a fairly long piece of floss. I don't cut the 1 yard pieces. I just stitch with the 1 yard piece. And I'm having to cut them into the 18-inch, like half them into 18-inch pieces so that I can use it all up. Otherwise, the thread is just breaking halfway through and I'm wasting a lot of thread. And I'm not like a thread miser, but I don't want to throw out half of every piece of thread I use. So I am just cutting it, using a smaller piece, and that's working fine. But I don't like to do that. I like to use the longer pieces. So that is definitely in the plans for next week as far as what I want to continue to work on. And just finding some extra floss hanging around in that pattern. So I want to stick that back in my bag. And now I'm just going to move some stuff over, and then I'll be able to show you all of my previous finishes for the fall. Okay, so I have a lot to show you, and I would say probably about half of it was stitched by my mom. About, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, she made for me at Christmas time a set of pillows for my dough bowl for literally every holiday. I was not cross-stitching again yet. I kind of hadn't gotten back into it yet, but she had, and she bought me the dough bowl, and she had like boxes of stuff to fill it with, including like fake greenery and stuff to put in it, and a doily to put on the bottom, and then pillows for like every holiday, every month really. So I had like a ready-made dough bowl kit. So again, just another way I'm spoiled, I know. But I wanted to show you those. And then I actually do some stitching of my own occasionally. So I wanted to show you things that I have made. Because when I got back into cross stitching, I just really enjoyed a lot of the fall pieces that I saw out there. So I have a lot that I did that was like a fall theme. So pillows for my dough bowl in no particular order that my mom made. I don't know the patterns for most of these, and most of them were done on Aida. Some of it's like that oatmeal, like this looks like oatmeal Aida. And I'm going to say it's mostly like 16 count just by looking at it. Although some might be 14 count. So this is for October. So I just put that in my, the drawer in my dining room to hide out until October. And I can put this one out next week though, because this is the September one. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know the names of these patterns. If you have one that you like have to have, ask me in the comments and I'll see if my mom remembers, but I don't know that she would even know what patterns they are. This was from several years ago that she did them. So that's my September pillow. Okay, so I showed you October. This is November. Super cute. She was putting lace on pillows before that was the cool thing to do, guys. I've seen so many people putting lace on their pillows lately. And it's got a little acorn charm there. And the same fabric is on the back. And then here's a Halloween pillow. Super cute. And this is where I got the idea to stick a felt square over your back where you've slit the back. I love that fabric on the back. I love this one, and I'm always tempted to leave it out year round because it's just a really sweet little alphabet. I have Autumn is Here. This one has like a little bird charm. And then, of course, because my husband and I are both in education, have to have a school bus for September. I love those little random heads in the windows. They're all bald, but they're all going to school. My husband actually shaves his head, so I joke that like it's three little Adams in the bus with no hair. So that's a super cute one. And then I have, they just keep coming, folks. They just keep coming. Going Batty. I'm not holding it right side up. There we go. Going Batty with bat fabric on the back. And I think this is the last pillow. This is a Thanksgiving one. We gather together, it says, with a leaf charm on the front. And full print on the back. So those are all my Dobo pillows for the fall. And probably my favorite thing that she's made for me, though, is not a pillow. It is a strawberry. It is an Erica Michael strawberry, I know that. I haven't fluffed up any bows or anything yet since I just took everything out of the box, but it is, let me move this out of the way. It's an Erica Michael strawberry. I don't know what strawberry it is, but it has a squirrel. Sorry, I don't know the name of it. And then she made the strawberry with felt on the top and a ribbon, and she put this charm. It has an owl there. I don't know how well you can see that, and like dangling beads and stuff. And there's like, basically it's hung with a pin, a bulb pin, to a ribbon wrapped around this scoop. So I really love that. That's probably my favorite thing that she's made. And I actually just have to connect that pin. Okay, we're good. I just didn't want it to fall off. Okay, so I think that's all that my mom made me, but if I come across anything else in this pile, I'll let you know. I have this cute thing that was made for me as well. We did one of those exchanges where you swap cross stitch with someone. And I got Autumn Bird. So that is super cute. That's one of those, there's birds for every season with the long legs. And I really love that. And then another one that I got in an exchange is this one. This looks like a Brenda Gervais piece, but I don't know which one it is. So this was from that Dixie Sampler Facebook group where you get to be paired up with someone else and send them a box full of cross stitch goodies. So I have that one from that exchange. I made this, which I want to say that's like Little House or Country Cottage, and I modified the pattern. Like, I think there's a bird that's supposed to be over here on a pumpkin, like a crow or something, and I was like, I don't want to stitch the crow. So I just added more leaves. And this is on a Hobby Lobby board that just has a clip at the top. So I shoved the mat board under the clip and stuck a bow on the top of the clip. And that stands. This is one of my favorites. Fluff the bows, haven't done that yet. Ye Old Crow. I think that's Heart and Hand, I think. And this is just a frame, plain old black picture frame, square, probably like a 6-inch, well, maybe an 8-inch square. And the mat that was in the frame, the backing for the frame, I just covered with fabric, and then I put the stitch piece, put some batting on underneath it, and put that around a piece of mat board and stuck that on, and then glued a bow and a covered button on the top. This is by the Drawn Thread, and it's Simply Autumn. And I have this finished with just magnets on the back because I have a metal, it's like a metal box, and this sits on the front of it. So that I have I have 2 seasons done, and I have 2 more to do on this series. That's Simply Autumn. And most of these, I don't know what fabric I stitched it on or anything like that, so I apologize. This is Harvest Chalk Full from Priscilla and Hands On Design, and I did stitch it on the gray fabric. It was not easy. I did this on vacation, and I did not really enjoy it. I love the way it looks, but I didn't enjoy stitching on it, so that's why I decided I'm not stitching this stuff on black. So I will be stitching it, the other jars, I have done a few on like a beige color, and that looks great too. So this sits on the white stand that Priscilla uses. I got the exact stand that she uses to finish hers, and this goes on that, but I don't have that out right now to show you it. Okay. This is a piece from Hobby Lobby. Just kind of take this off and show you. It's like a chalkboard, and I put metal, sheet metal on it, and then I put magnets on the back of this. So this one is Lizzie Kate, and it's like the Thanksgiving string. And I just glued a whole bunch of flowers and stuff up here. And then I have the Halloween string that I actually put on before the Thanksgiving one, obviously. That also goes there. So the Halloween one goes up first, and I just like stuck some ribbon around the edges, and I display that, and then I take it off and put the Thanksgiving one on. These are actually several that I'm going to show you now are ones that I kind of would like to redo the finishing on. I'm not really in love with the finishing. I actually like this part, but I really don't like the way I did the ribbon down here with the fabric. It's not ribbon, it's fabric, but I don't like how I did that. So I might redo that. And another one that I think I might redo the finish on is this Pumpkins for Sale. I'm not sure of the exact title, but this is another one that I had a hard time stitching this. I think it's the fabric I used, plus I made some changes. There was supposed to be like a white pumpkin. It didn't really show up. There's supposed to be a checkerboard border here. I didn't like it. I think the flowers up here are supposed to be like blue or something. So I made a lot of changes and kind of as I went. And this is one of the first things I stitched when I got back into cross stitching. You can kind of see it's on the board a little bit wonky. It's not straight. I don't like this fabric around it. Like, I like the fabric, I just don't, it's too much, it's too tall, I think, around it. I have it on this pumpkin that, again, I probably got at Hobby Lobby, and I like the pumpkin, but I don't know that I like this piece on it. So this is another one I might like refinish at some point. And I love, love, love this stitched piece. I love stitching it, but I'm definitely going to refinish this one. So this is, I think, Brenda Gervais, because she has really awesome looking witches, right? I loved stitching it. I was really proud of myself when I was finished with it, because again, this was like getting back into stitching right when I started. But I don't know why I've decided to finish it on a board that's way too big for it, with way too much fabric around it. Like, this one definitely has to be refinished, re-FFO'd, because I'm not in love with the way that looks. And I think it could really look a lot nicer if I fix that. I have 2 of the wordplay, monthly word plays done. And I'm going to redo these 2. They are just done with magnets on the back, and they stick again on like this metal tray that I have. But I don't like that fabric around it, and so I think I would redo that. That's the September wordplay, and this is the October wordplay. So the stitching is great, I just don't love the way I finished it. I think I would probably do like a stand-up flat fold for each of those so they could just stand on their own. All right, these 3 are some of my favorite fall stitching that I've done. This I did last year. It's Hallows Eve, I think. Another Brenda Gervais witch that I love. This is actually a clear, I don't know, it's not really a frame. It's like a picture, but it's clear. It says "Bless This Home," and I stuck the sheet metal on it and then just put that in there with magnets. And that worked out pretty good. Once you get it on there straight, it looks good. I took off, there's a border kind of like this leafy border here that goes on the bottom, and I didn't stitch that. And I love the look of it in this frame. So I'm really happy with that. And then I have two that usually hang together. And I don't remember the name of these, so forgive me. One of these is something Jack, but I don't know if it's this one or the next one. So I'll show you this one. And so I did them in similar colors and then used the same fabric and bows and picture frames these were white frames, and I painted them with chalk paint, black chalk paint, and then I just like ran sandpaper over them so they look like grungy and everything. And so they usually hang near each other. And that is it. Those are all my previous finishes. So like I said, I do have a big box of Christmas finishes to show you when we get close to it, but I think I have the most stitching for this time of year, like fall into winter stitching. I tend to like to do a lot of that. So for haul this week, I really only got one thing. It's very surprising, right? I usually have a lot of haul, but I got my Victorian Motto fabric of the month. This is July's fabric of the month, and it is called Shadows. And it is a really nice kind of gray color. I feel like there's almost some purple in this. It's really nice. So they're a little behind. Like I said, this is the July one, but they keep coming and I keep loving them. So they get here eventually. I'm not worried about it. So I just want to show you some of my plans and things that I have coming up that I want to stitch on. And then I think that'll be all for today. So this week I definitely want to continue to work on my summer schoolhouse and try and get that house done. And then I saw Helen D recently stitched this, and she had seen, I think, Java Girl Stitches also stitched it and changed the colors, which, you know, I'm stitching them all on like a beige fabric or just not black. And so they had used black in place of the white. So it was black and orange on a beige fabric. And that is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to sit up here when I'm done with this video and kit up the colors for that. And I also recently kitted up Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. And I love this one. I'm going to stitch it on the, this is Silk Weaver Mocha 36 count. So it's just a nice, actually, where's my board? It's just a nice light brown color. And it calls for a lot of threads. I haven't put these on a ring yet. Like, look how many threads there are, though. I did not have all the called for colors. So many of these are my substitutions for the called for colors. But I am looking forward to starting this. I got to get them all on a ring and get ready for that. So I have some fall stitching that I am looking forward to. Cynthia Brew from Stitching in the Light is going to do a sal for October, which is one of the reasons I am kitting up some fall things. And it's the Great Pumpkin Sal, I think is the hashtag she's got. But if you check out her channel, which I'll link in the description box below, I think she's going to give some more information on one of her upcoming videos about it. And the idea of the sal is to stitch on something, some pumpkins or I guess just any fall stitching, but it's, I think, pumpkins. And my Feast of Friendship has a pumpkin in it. And then she's also going to use it as a fundraiser to raise money for a charity that her daughter's fiance's family is involved in, I believe. And that charity helps to, I think it's called Freedom Shield. I'm sorry, I don't have all the information right. I'm not that prepared here today to talk about this, but this is your teaser. So it's a charity that helps in the fight against human trafficking. So it's a really great organization that is doing good work. And We're going to have some raffles to prizes to uh, reward the people who donate to that cause during the SAL. So like I said, check out her Flosstube channel for more information on that. I am donating some items to the raffle, and I'm going to get those collected and put together and send a picture of that to Cynthia so she knows what I'm raffling off. And yeah, so just stay tuned. I'll have more specific information once I gather together what I'm going to give as a prize, and you can probably get the best information from watching Cynthia's channel. So I'm looking forward to some fall stitching and some more smalls, I think, because I like finishing things. So I'm gonna kind of root around in my stash and see what I have there. And I also have I have an itch to really start a few pieces in particular that I've been kind of had kitted up and been waiting on. So stay tuned next week. We'll see if I give in and start those pieces. There are a few that I was like, well, I'm not going to start this till I finish that, and there's no rules in cross stitch, so I might just start them anyway. I hope you have a great week. I hope that you are all staying safe and healthy and out of the path of the recent hurricanes, and that you have a great stitchy week. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.